What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks. Cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. So you already know, man. Bruh, last night, KD definitely made another comeback. I think his third comeback. And, showing what elite looks like, going to see me when I work. My goodness, another comeback and another basically almost perfection again, man. Just elite efficiency, elite ability, elite arsenal, and never leaves. No rust, no WD-40. My goodness, man. But that boy can get you 40. You get what I'm saying? Bruh, that boy elite, man. Like, he's so different, man. And I'm going to talk about how there's levels to this. And I'm going to talk about, why it's such a testament to just KD, his game and his ability and just his mindset and the level, the kind of echelon he's just operating on, right? He's so different, man. And I'm going to explain that, later, obviously. But when you look at just, the Brooklyn Nets, they finally got, they got KD back again. He had a thigh contusion, was sat out the last 3 games. Remember when I did a video when he got injured and people were like, oh my God, he should retire, he should do this. But people just be talking nonsense. But I said at most, because it's a knee to the thigh, it wasn't the hamstring. That's why I said this is great, because it's not like it was a non-contact injury or it's the same hamstring or whatever. Yes, it's the same left leg, but it's not the hamstring. The hamstring is behind the leg. And then the thigh is at the front, right? So when he got hit at the top of the leg, the thigh, it gave him a contusion, which is bruising, right? So that's all I was saying. Is going to be maybe a week to 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. But if I had to estimate, it'll be a week to 2 weeks around there. And what happened? It basically was a week, only 3 games. A week, maybe a week and a half. I don't know exactly the last date, but I think it was pretty much a week, right? So then when you look at it from that perspective, man, he came back, showing you what elite looks like. Kyrie, my goodness, the arsenal, the ability to bucket get in is actually is otherworldly, basically, man. It's out of this world, man. And that team is just potent offensively, like I always been saying and try to highlight. I sound like I'm being a dead horse, but I have to when it's being this type of sentiment, this type of narrative is basic, or the truth, not even a narrative. The truth is being outshadowed and outnumbered and outmanned by the masses, right? So when you look at it, that's why I have to just keep repeating, because, there's only a few of us. There's only a few of us with the real IQ. That's what I do. So, at the end of the day, Brooklyn Nets came back. They faced the Suns, who is a great team. Remember my projections beforehand with the Suns. Another, oh my God, Banks, what are you talking about? Remember, I said they're going to be a top 3 seed. What's it called? My boy Daniel said it was going to be top 2. They're going to be top 2. That's what he said. And I was like, I don't know about top 2, but top 3. But relatively, it's still basically the same thing. And right now they're 2, right? So, it's just what elite looks like. You have to have IQ. That's what I do to foresee these things. Real IQ is people who could actually see the game on a different level, that they could project and tell you things before it happens. Reacting isn't really, anyone can react. But when you could project, because based off the assessment and the breakdown and analyzing the whole bulk, then you can make a proper educated assessment and educated guess. Doesn't mean you're always going to be right, but if you give the context and what is going to be right and how it's going to be right and whatever, come on now, that's when someone has the IQ and just understands the game and is operating on an elite level. So you already know we're going to talk about the Nets and just how they moved, obviously, versus the Suns and just in general. And you already know we got to debunk some narratives again, because I gotta relive this often, right? Anyways, you already know. So let's go into that context, because I give it that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. So you already know, man. Basically, like I was saying, they faced the Suns, and when they faced the Suns, elite ability. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, when it comes to Kevin Durant, and that's why, like, stuff like this makes you, like, only if you understand the game and you actually appreciate, the game to this type of level, you could sit back and be like, yo, this man is actually amazing. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. And the real ones know. Obviously, a lot of people, and not even the real ones, everybody knows, but, they're salty because, again, a lot of people have biases and have hidden agendas and have, their fanboyish type of stuff, and their idol is this, especially when it comes to, like, LeBron and all these other, and some other players or whatever, right? So, that's how it goes, right? You kind of stick with and favor who you actually love and who you appreciate the most, and you're biased to your favorites, right? But at the end of the day, understanding the game, at some point you're gonna have to pass your biases. You're gonna have to put your biases to the side and have to be true to the game, because your biases and the truth of the game don't always mesh. Sometimes they go hand in hand, where it's like, okay, you understand the game because you're biased to this player, and understanding the game kind of links. But then if you're understanding the game and you really understand the game, you're going to now you won't even have biases, because your view of the game is so authentic and so genuine, and you take that on a hierarchy first. It's the same thing with people who do law or people who do any other field. It's like you're so passionate about the actual field itself that you don't do any disservice. I want to protect the law. I want to uphold the law. You get what I'm saying? And the patriarchy and all this type of stuff. You want to, you put your hand and you swear to it. So, like, you're not going to do immoral things. You're not going to do things that go against the authenticity, right? That's where it's like that person is really operating on that elite level. The same goes with basketball, right? The same goes with sports, right? You're so, you have passion for the game. You're authentic to the game. You get what I'm saying? So now what happens is, because you're authentic to it, you're not going to say certain outlandish, blasphemous things that contradict the actual authenticity of the game. And when you know the game on that level, you can't even succumb to that, to even spew some garbage like that, right? It's beneath you. It's beneath you. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't even feel right. Like, I don't believe it. I'm not going to say something I don't believe. Like, come on, now proof is in the pudding, right? So that's kind of what it comes down to. So when it comes to KD, man, like, that's why I had to really, like, and to put perspective, right? KD, he's been dealing with injuries. But and he came back, the first time injured. The second time came back. And then the third time, he got injured in the third time. But if you look at KD's history with all injuries, like, you got to look. And this is why, and I'm not going to, normally when I give comparisons, explaining something, it's like some people think that I'm only talking about the bottom few. I'm only talking about the people who are not elite anyway. So obviously someone who's elite, versus the non-elite, it's like, oh, yes, you can see why they're so elite. No, I never do that. I look at the elite versus the elite. And if the elite versus the elite is even more elite, that guy's beyond elite. He's legendary. That's the difference. So, that's what KD is. He's beyond elite, because AD is elite. But you've seen AD when he came back from injury. Oh, I don't have my lift. I don't have my rust. I got to get my reps in, right? I got to get my rhythm. I can't, you're going to struggle. I'm not going to be efficient. I'm just, it's my first game back, man. God damn, I got to get the rhythm. I got to get, I got to get that rust off, take the kinks off, all this, that, and a third. And it's not saying that AD's a scrub, because like I said, he's elite. We already know this. But you have to notice that what AD went through in his first game coming back, is normal. The normal, even the elite hooper still has to get the kinks off, because no matter what practice you play, no matter what you do, it doesn't replicate the actual in-game live action, type of play. Nothing can simulate that. Nothing can duplicate that. No matter how much you run, no matter how much you try to simulate that and try to replica that, it's not the same. It's not the same. So the fact that AD, who's elite, needs to get his reps in, and then you have KD not once, not twice, but 3 times, and not even 3 times. Basically, the last 4 times he's been injured, when he stepped on the court, whether he's still injured, whether he's laboring, whether he's limited, whether he's not, this man comes out eating off efficiency, as if he's been here. Do you know how difficult? Like, that's what I'm like. Someone is so different. You know how difficult that is to operate on that type of level, to be so efficient off ability, not even getting bare layups. It's not like you're just running into the paint and bullying, so you're like doing the Zion, Giannis, LeBron efficiency. No, it's bare jump shots, It don't matter if you have no rhythm. Don't matter. You still having more points than minutes every single time. 33 points, 28 minutes like this time. The last time when he came back perfect, what was it, 22 points or 17 points, didn't miss. Like, and then the other time, and then even when he came back from the Achilles, and then even then when in the finals when he was even injured. That's how you know someone's different. Even in the finals when they were saying he's still injured and when he popped his Achilles that game without even taking bare dribbles and getting rhythm, just spotting up and doing one hezzy pull up. Straight buckets, efficiency. Come on now, like you got to understand that like this guy is different. KD is so different, and that perspective itself lets you know how different he is. That he's even more different than, like, when people say he's different, he's even more different than that different. That's how different he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, only if you know, you know. But like, if you understand what I'm saying, that is so difficult, man. That is so difficult to not play, even just as regular hoopers. Like quarantine happens and stuff like that. We don't play for a minute and you come back. Obviously, KD's still getting shots up, probably behind the scenes, whatever. But even times he's not really, right? And even then, like, come on now, when you don't play and you have that rush, you're gonna miss. So like, it doesn't feel the same. I gotta get back. It don't matter for this man, yo. That's what I'm like. He's actually supreme. You know what I'm saying? So like, come on now, KD is so different. And look at this guy. Like, he just comes back from injury and he's already like 33 ability, efficiency. KD and Kyrie, you have the most skilled PG. You have the most skilled small forward, power forward, whatever, on the same team. And then now you add Harden. Like, and that's where now I want to take this conversation even further, because this is the narrative and all this stuff that people are saying. Like, they're going to come out. By the time you hear this, they're probably going to say, oh, I don't trust them. The big three hasn't played. They only played 7 games together. They were 5-2. There's not enough sample size. We got to see this, that, and a third, and blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you really know what's going on here, what's going on is Harden's going to take the least amount of shots out of the trio, and he's going to sacrifice and be the playmaker, because those guys' ability, they've done it on the biggest stages. They've been proven. They're not the ones that are sacrificing. Obviously, everyone sacrifices, and their ability transcends Harden's ability, even though Harden's ability is transcendent. What I mean by that is KD, Kyrie, no limitations. We could play like we're Steph and Clay if we want to, and then we could ISO like we're Kyrie and KD if we want to. We can do anything. We can ISO. We can get a pick to switch and get a mismatch and kill. We can come off the screen and kill. We can catch and shoot. You know what I mean? We can come off down screens, pin downs. You know what I mean? We could do ball screens and pull off the gaps, like however you want it. Kill in the zone, like post up. Like, come on now. Mano, mid post, high post, shot crate from 3. Like, there's no limitation. So Harden, who has the limitation because his game is only step back 3 or blow by to the paint for floaters. He doesn't really do mid-range. He doesn't really post up. He doesn't come off screens. He's been doing a 1-2 catch and shoot here and there, and a 1-2 step back maybe only when the clock's dying. But out of his 10 makes, out of his everyday, every play basis, he's not doing mid-range. He's not displaying the ability. He's more so 2-dimensional. But then the way he's 2-dimensional is so supreme that he's transcendent, because that step back is unguardable mixed with the blow by. Those two, that same package he does with the through the leg series every time. Go. Oh, you slagging, step back. Oh, you're going to lean, go. You shift to the right. Okay, blow by to the leg. It's the same through the leg series, and that's how he gets all his buckets off of that. So, again, that ability has to be the playmaker, has to be the facilitator. That type of guy has to be the one to, sacrifice his shots. It's not just because, I haven't been proven as much. It's also the ability. This is what happens. Nash, who knows ability, is going to put people in the best situations to perform their ability. You're not going to put Shamet posting. No, he comes off curl screens. That's his ability. Use that. Joe Harris, the same thing. Use that. So Harden is in his ability. Like Houston, we're not going to change you. Do the same thing, but it's going to be more so where you're going to probably take the least amount of shots, because those guys can fry in either way. So that's the blueprint you saw in those 7 games as a sample size. The Harden that you've seen take over once KD got injured and when Kyrie and they were changing, that's a different Harden. That's Harden doing that out of necessity, like what he did in Houston out of necessity when Chris Paul was injured. But with the trio, he's going to be the one sacrificing the most. Don't let media fool you saying, oh, Harden's the best out of the trio and whatever. No, he's 3. It's KD, Kyrie, and Harden. That's what it is, hierarchy-wise. That's what it is. Ability-wise, like that's why he came in there. That's why he wanted to come there, because he's like, I know who those two are. They done on the biggest stage. Harden hasn't. Let's be real. So, come on now. When it matters, that's the hierarchy. So when we look at it from that perspective, you know what I mean? And you don't like they're gonna come with this, oh, they didn't have a long sample size, and they didn't have this and that, and you know, their defense is garbage, and all these type of narratives. And even with that, KD, oh, they've been banged up. We have to see if they're gonna be healthy first. Valid. You know what I mean? You get it. You know, whatever. But the fact that, like, take it in. Lakers have been missing AD and LeBron, and then obviously everybody else been playing. And they dropped to 5th seed. Okay? When Philly missed Joel Embiid, and it was just Ben. It was a struggle. All other teams, when you miss 2, 3, 2 out of your big 3, 1 or 2, like, sometimes it's a struggle. But Kyrie by himself wins. A 1-2 loss, but wins majority. Harden by himself, a 1-2 loss, but wins majority. KD and Kyrie, a 1-2 loss, but wins majority. Harden and Kyrie, a 1-2 loss, but wins majority. So even with all these bad narratives that you say this is not why it is, and I don't know what this, and they're still first seed in the East, and have beat all the main teams, not once, most of them twice. All the main teams. Best teams in the league. So, most times, so for Lakers, if you're harping on their health, oh no, they're going to be good. What are you talking about? They're the champions. But you're harping on their health, and without their health, you're not seeing all the wins. You're seeing them drop in standings. But yet, a team that you're saying, you're not seeing their health, but they're winning without the health. Why do you think the team that's going to get with the winning without the health, now they get everybody healthy, now they're going to be losing? They're worse than the team who's losing without the health, but then now they're healthy. You're assuming they're going to win? Does that even make sense? And then the teams who actually do have health concerns, y'all don't even mention it. Y'all don't mention. Like, y'all acting like as if Embiid's the most healthy guy. Oh, Philly's gonna beat this and that. What are you talking? Like, what are like unproven guys in playoffs that you? That's what I like. I don't like the narratives and it's just cap, man. It's just cap, and it's like you already know what mans are doing. And I know I hate doing this because I do this often. If you follow me, I'm sorry that I'm going through this again. But remember, I'm not even blown up yet, so I have to continuously sometimes beat a dead horse because you never know who's watching. You never know who's first time hearing me. It might be it right now. You never know when it's someone's first time hearing me. So you got to continuously give context and give IQ. That's what I do. But at the end of the day, like, come on now. You have to be real. You have to be real at some point. Like, these narratives can't be, like, you have to use IQ. You have to be able to think the game on your own level to understand what's going on and to see the game based off the eye test and know how to apply statistics or read the statistics that comprehend or coincide or just give justification to what your eyes see. You don't go to the stats to explain what your, you know what I mean, to get a synopsis of everything without using your eyes. You don't do that. Your eyes supposed to tell you what elite looks like, and based off what your eyes say, now the stats will just confirm it, or, you know, maybe give you a 1-2 reflection or whatever the case is. But majority, that's how you're supposed to look at stats. Not like look at the stats end all be all and then get your scenarios, get your narratives, get your conclusions off the stats. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. That's not understanding the game on the proper level. And that's what a lot of these guys are doing, media, fans, whoever, right? The apologists, whoever the case is, that's what they do. And I'm here to debunk that shit. And now again, one of their main things is this defense narrative. And this is one of the most capped things, and a lot of people won't see it because, yes, a 1-2 play, if you look at even the teams that you say do have the most lockup defense, there's a 1-2 play, couple plays where, because mans are scoring. Look at the league. Everyone's scoring on a high level. So there is 1-2 play. bad rotation. Even though Jazz will have elite defense, you'll see Gobert have to now cover the pick and roll and hedge it, whatever. Then the roll is wide open. Is he going to recover back and block the shot? Sometimes you see bare easy dunks or even uncontested layups. In every game you see that, which is why you see people say, oh my God, this era has no defense. So that means even the defensive teams at times have Fugazi, no defense. So what does that tell you? We'll go further than that, right? So basically, a lot of people say that Brooklyn Nets have no defense. And I'm not saying they have the greatest defense. That's not what I'm saying. But when you look at the overall stats for the whole season, when the team has changed and they've been improving defense and, it's been changing, and you look at them, their defensive efficiency or defensive rating says 24 out of 30, right? And that's what the numbers they're picking out and this, that, and the third and all of that type of stuff. It's cap because at the end of the day, what matters the most, what tells you a lot, especially in everything tells you, is point differential. And this is what I try to tell people. And I'm going to explain this quickly because I've done this before, but I'm going to try and do my best, right? And what I mean by point differential is point differential for you, those who don't understand, is the difference between your points per game. So the amount of points your team scores as a total, right? Your points per game, right? And the difference minus, right, from the points allowed per game, right? So points allowed per game is obviously a testament to your defense, right? That's what people think, right? You allow the least amount of points, you're locking up, right? You allow the most amount of points, you're not locking up. You're playing no defense. And they isolate the defense points allowed, and they don't put context and comprehend both. So what I mean by that is a lot of teams that score a lot are naturally going to allow a lot because it's a high-tempo pace. Rarely do you see a team score a lot and allow the least amount of points for the league. That means that's going to be like a 10, 15-point differential. And that's crazy. Mans don't do that. Only once in a blue moon do you see that happen, right? And even when you see a 15, 10-point differential, that points allowed is still way higher than the least because tempo has a lot to do with defense, possessions, pace, space, scoring, and how much you allow and how much you contain. Pace is a lot to do with it. It's almost all what to do with it, right? And people don't understand that, right? They think that you could just look at the stats and see that, okay, the Knicks allow the least amount of points. What is that? What did the Knicks allow? The Knicks allow, my fault, let me go and check right here real quick. The Knicks allow 104 points per game. 105, 104.7, 105. Then the Lakers have the best defensive rating, allow 106 points per game. Those are the least, which is already hella high. Because if you go look at the least back then, they were at high 90s, right? The least is still 105. Do you know how reckless that is? So that means the whole league scoring pace is reckless, up-tempo, which is why you see a lot of no defense, pace and space. You can't pre-rotate. This, that, and a third. We're not even going to get into those details of that. But that already, even Miami, they say they have the great defense, the Jazz. This is 107. Clippers, 108, 108, 108. Philadelphia, they say have great defense, 109. So if you're allowing that much, right, or you're allowing that much that still is the least for the league, then your point differential should be high because you're a good team, you're probably scoring, and you're allowing not that much, so and you're winning games, so your defense should dictate based off of, the fact that you're doing this. But it doesn't translate. Why? Because the Knicks allow the least in the league, but the Knicks at the same time score hella pinch. They only score 106.9. So their point differential is only plus 2.2. Only plus 2.2. So what happens? Are you really having yes, you're having defense. You're going to look at the eye test, they're padding. But it's not necessarily that you're padding because when you look at it, when you play a slower pace, most of the times, slower pace, teams methodically running up the court, they're going to shoot on the back end of the shot clock. If you really know basketball, if majority of your possessions are in the last half of the shot clock, back end of the shot clock, your percentages drastically decrease. When you shoot in the top half of the shot clock, first 14 seconds, your percentages are high because guys aren't paying attention. You're basically always in a transitional type of game, up-tempo type of game. Man scores a bucket, he celebrate back. Inbound, go, 7 seconds. That's why Phoenix 7 seconds or less existed. When man's blink, you score right away. But when you have to take 5, 4, you're taking low-end shot clock shots, It's more so bailout shots. Your percentages are going to be way lower. So, again, slower tempo means better defense. Naturally, you're going to score less. So, does that mean that you're actually padding, or is it just the tempo is slow? And that's where the disconnect happens. The disconnect happens with media and whatever. They don't understand the game operate on that level, that they don't understand what these numbers are actually telling you or what it actually means. And how you know by that is by, if the numbers were actually right, you wouldn't see contradiction in numbers, right? So look, Philadelphia, they say elite defensive team and all the all the whatever they say. Their point differential is +4. The Brooklyn Nets, who have terrible defense, their point differential is 4.5. So yes, they allow 114 points per game, which, oh my God, is so much. But if you're scoring 119 points per game, your point differential is 4.5. Someone who only allows 109, who, oh my God, has great defense, but only scores 113, has a lower differential than you, which is why you see the record is the record. You get what I'm saying? The Milwaukee Bucks, they score a lot, 119, and they allow 112.9, plus a 6.4 plus point differential. But the 112.9 is middle of the pack in the league, because you see the lowest was 104. Does that mean the Bucks aren't padding? For you to score that much and still have a wide separation of differential means you're padding. But there's naturally going to be more buckets because it's up-tempo. People are matching your pace. It's the same thing. The Golden State Warriors from the 2018 champions, right, had a 6 point something differential. Let me see. Let me do my due diligence. Let's check here real quick. Golden State real quick. They had a 5.9 differential. So normally great teams have within a 4 to 6 differential. That's what you're normally going to have, especially when you're scoring at that high rate. And Brooklyn's right there at 4.5. Like, so you're trying to tell me that's not championship bound? That's not championship made? And that's where a lot of that cap happens. That's where a lot of these things happen. That is fugazi, right? Like I said, you go look at the Lakers. The Clippers have a 6.8 differential. The Utah Jazz, who makes sense, 116 scoring, pretty high scoring, top 10 probably scoring. And then they're still top 10 or bottom 10 in defense. That's why you see a 9.1 differential. You see how that makes sense? You score a lot, but that's when you're like, that team actually has great defense, because you score a lot and you're still allowing one of the least one of the fewest in the league. That's why you get a big differential. Then it's like, okay, that's why the record is the record. That's where it lines up. Phoenix, 5.9 differential. Clippers, 6.8 differential. Look at the Lakers. They're the best defensive efficiency team, but they only have a 3.3 differential. Because they only score 109, even though they allow the second least 106. Why? Because they play slow as shit. You barely score. So you're going to allow lower. Does that mean it results in your differential? Does that mean you're actually padding? How are you actually padding and you're not capitalizing if it's only a 3.3 differential? If you're really padding, oh my God, their defense is so elite, but you don't score. So it's not that your defense is so elite. You're playing a slow-paced tempo. So yes, if you have decent defense and a slow-paced tempo, your defense is going to look elite because it's a slow pace. It's a slow pace. Almost shot clock violation almost every possession. Or bottom 5, bottom 10. It's a slow pace. It don't mean you're actually padding. It's just a slow pace. And that's where the confusion happens. And that's where I try to tell people, like, you got to know the game to actually read things. You can't, like, people can tell me whatever they want to tell me. The only way I can get educated about this game, you know what I'm saying, is from the actual hoopers in the NBA. They can shed light to me of things that I'm not privy to. And that's where I would listen and I hear your IQ. Give me that IQ. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But all the fans and all y'all, everybody else, come on. I don't need to hear nothing from you. You can't tell me nothing because your IQ is lower. Let's just be real. You can't tell me nothing, man. I'm just being real with you. Oh my God, this guy is so cocky. No, I'm not cocky. I'm confident. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Run circles around mans. Man's adding me all the time. I don't want to hear that. Actually, I want to hear it. And I just expose mans. Oh my God, you're typing a paragraph I'm not going to read, fam. Don't do that. Don't type a paragraph and I read and then I body you and then now because the first sentence you saw, oh my goodness, my Scalati's broken. What is he saying? And then you cop out, I'm not reading that, fam. Like, come on now. Don't do that. Don't start a war and then say, no, it's too much. No. Except the thunderstorm that comes with it. You know what I mean? Take it on the chin. Come on now. You can't be doing that. So I try to tell people, like, come on now. Like, if you play, you know. The ones who play, the ones who create, always know the most. Because they've been there, done that. They know. You're not just reading stuff. You've been there. You know what it means. It translates to you. It hits different. It's like an artist understands artistry even more than the fan that just hears it. Right? The fan just hears it, doesn't know, oh, he was trying to do this. And then all these different things that click and the IQ behind it. The artist who was actually creating knows way more than the basic fans who just listening. They don't hear the ears aren't on the same level. It's the same way the untrained eyes are on the same level. If you play and you know the work you have to put in and you know what means what, you ran these sets, you've done it with this, then that, you switching, you had miscommunications with with actual guys. You know what ability is. You've guarded a guy and you know that the analytics don't mean nothing. The guys with the ability are always the most feared. If the guy dunks on you, momentum happens for a moment, but that guy is not feared. Maybe on alleys, maybe on a fast break, don't jump with him. Business decision, run out of bounds. That's it. But how many times does that play happen? The guys with the ball, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. You're feared because you know I might get fried right now. And if actually I'm gonna contest well, great defense, bucket on your head. And you just put your head down. And that's the worst because that's even more demoralizing than everything because the coach said, I'm gonna put my best guy on you. And the fact that he put your best guy on you and he's getting fried right now, that means you have no answer. So it's deeper than just the fact that I scored 2 buckets on your head, 3 buckets straight on your head. It's way deeper than that. It's a chess match. It's a cerebral game. It's demoralizing. There's multiple aspects. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like people don't understand. They don't understand. That's why you see guys palms sweaty, their heart, everyone gets nervous, everyone's heart's beating. It's pressure. But the runs who pressure bust pipes or makes diamonds. And that's real. The ones who are the diamonds will fry. You put your best player on, I fry him. Now that coach is like, God damn, I have no answer. What am I gonna do? And everyone, the whole team feels like this guy, we can't guard him. When the whole team feels like that, and the hooper knows that you feel like that, and I did that to you, and I look at your eyes. That's why they get a bucket. They look at the bench like, are you stupid? Bruh. That chess match is that's why now you got to do some doubles. That's why now same thing with Kawhi versus Denver. That's why now you got to do some doubles. You got to trap. It's chess match. You got to do different things. We trying to win this game because if we keep putting the best guy on him, and he's not even asking for a mismatch, and he's frying him, like what can we do? The series might be over. And when you get that feeling, now it trickles down to the whole team. When that defender gets that feeling, the coach gets that feeling, everyone gets that feeling. Everyone's silent in the locker room. What we doing with Kawhi though? Oh my God, Kawhi has 30 at half. Oh my God, KD hit. Like, that's when you know the series is over. The series is over before it even started. Those are the things that people don't even talk about. But, that's why the ability is always the most important thing. But even then, I digress. But the main thing is narratives is cap. And I didn't even digress because that translates. That actually matches exactly what it is. Because that trio is the one with that trio and no one matches that ability from that trio has the most ability combined than any other team in the league right now and actually in history. So what do you think playoff time is going to happen when it's all about that and it's about the mono and the mismatches and all about the ability because mans know your sets so they cancel it. Oh, you run the play, switch. That play don't work. Okay, you have to ISO with the last 7 seconds. That's why you see Giannis don't look like Giannis when it matters. Sometimes LeBron don't look like LeBron when it matters. Until when he comes correct. If he doesn't come correct, that's why you see him be passive. Or he needs that other bucket getter to win that ring. Which is normal. But he doesn't take over all the time. Let's be real. That's why you see, they don't look like that. That's why you see guys like Jimmy Butler elevate. That's why you see Pascal look frail. That's why you see other guys look for like there's a lack. There's a lack. It's a different tier. So when the Nets have 3 of those guys on different tier, and the one guy who might be nervous, might be palm sweaty based off history is Harden, now he don't have to worry. So the Harden you saw is actually going to be elevated, just like the Harden you saw with OKC versus the Spurs, where he didn't have to be the one. So that's why it's like I could fry at any time. That he's going back to that role. He's going back to that role. The pressure is more so on KD and Kyrie. Harden, he's just, he's a boost. And I don't want to say it like he's a role player boost. No, I'm saying out of the trio, like if Harden is getting 15 every single time, that don't matter because those 2 guys is getting 30s. I mean, they're the ones who like, we done this. This is what we do. Come on my back and let me show you guys. Pause. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to explain. And that's where there's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of people don't understand what's going on. And that's why, like, I would have to be shocked if the Nets, only way I see them losing if they're not healthy. I don't even think them imploding by themselves. Like, that's not happening. That's not happening. Mans will just take over. Like, come on. KD can score 15 straight if he wants to. Kyrie can. And then Harden can now, too. Like, you act like, come on now. Don't matter if you have Embiid in the post doing all 2s and breaking chests all day, every day. We scoring 3s. We scoring with ease. You can't match us scoring-wise. Even if we let you score 115 or 25, we scoring 135. That's why it's about timely stops. And that's what you see in all these big games. And that's why they're able to beat these good teams. Because if they didn't have defense, how are they able to beat these good teams? Now we're going to be attention to detail, and we're going to come out the gate operating on a higher level in the playoffs because it's going to rise. That's why you always see, right? A lot of these regular season teams don't translate. It's like 2 different seasons, 2 different contexts. Like, come on now, man. Y'all have to have learned. Y'all still saying the Bucks when you didn't learn? Like, when you learned that these guys aren't it right now, they have to prove to you. Why do you keep saying, no, they every single time? They have to prove to you. Let them show you and then be like, okay, Milwaukee. Don't just assume Milwaukee's doing. Like, come on now. Y'all keep doing the same thing. That's what they say insanity is. They're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Hating on Kyrie and KD, expecting a different result. Insanity. When you've seen time and time again. Hating on, you know what I'm saying? Or expecting Giannis and the Ben Simmons and Embiid to just go to the finals, guaranteed, off the same, every prediction, every year, oh my God, this year, and you get the same result. Insanity. That's what that is. Bruh, come on, man. Anyways, I apologize for going too ham, but I had to, man. I had to because enough is enough, man. Like, I already know what they're going to say, and then always the narrative, there's not healthy, and blah, 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 and that, and this, and that, and the third. Listen, by the fact you shouldn't even be speaking. You should be scared that they're not healthy, and they're number 1. They're number 1. It's not like they're not healthy, and they're 6, 7, and it's like we're hoping that, when they're healthy, they're good, though. Like, they're number 1. Number 1. Unhealthy. One of the teams with the most different starting lineups in the league. Number 1. So when they're fully healthy, come on now. It's going to be worse? I don't think it's going to work. Like, bruh. Come on now, man. Come on, you got to be real. Man. You got to be real. Anyways, you already know. Man, it's just atrocious, man. It's just atrocious. But at the end of the day, again, we'll see how it pans out. I'm glad that KD and Kyrie are back. Well, sorry, Kyrie been there. But I'm glad that KD back. Remember, he comes back then after 3, 4, 5 games. Unfortunate, injury happens. I just hope that he's healthy. That's the only thing is the health. And if you're saying, honestly, if they're healthy, I don't see anyone beating them. But if they're not healthy, that's the thing. Or can they be healthy? That's a valid concern. I'll never say, that's not a concern. That's a concern with the Lakers. That's a concern with the Nets. That's a concern with the Philly. Because Embiid, sometimes, that's a concern with a lot of teams. And if you can apply that same energy to all of them, then, there's nothing wrong. Health is definitely a valid concern to be scared about. I'm not mad at that because based off even the history, you see KD in and out and stuff like that, Harden, like, I understand. But for you to say even if they're healthy, it's not working, or it's not, like, come on now, you capping. You capping. You capping. You don't believe it in your heart. In your heart of hearts. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way, man. Anyways, you already know I appreciate y'all. And, at the end of the day, that's just what elite looks like, man. That's what elite looks like. So, we'll see how it pans out. We'll see how it pans out. And we'll see how, if I just need them to. And that's the thing. It's not just the Nets. I want all teams. All 16 teams, I want to be healthy. And even the ones doing the play-in. I want everybody full strength, healthy. Healthy, no injury, not one. That's what I want. And then let's duke it out. Let's duke it out. That's what I want. So it's not like I'm being biased to one team. No, I want every team. I don't want LeBron out. I don't want AD out. I don't want Butler out. I don't want Bam. I don't want nobody. Jason, I don't want nobody out. Everybody healthy. Donovan Mitchell, I want y'all healthy. Every man. Every man. I want y'all healthy. And let's see what it do. Let's see what it's the playoff push now. You know what I'm saying? Let's gear up. We getting ready. We getting ready, man. You already know.